you're a Maroubra boy.
Yep.
More than a Maroubra boy. You are Maroubra, as in Bra boy.
Yeah.
You're one of the original Bra boys.
Yeah. Grew up in Maroubra, and when the boys the Bra boys have been around for a long period of time, but as our generation went through the beach, then we've really formed the Bra boys.
So it wasn't a beach mob before?
It was, yep, definitely. It was all surfers and everything, but they weren't as tight. They weren't as tight as we were.
Or as organised?
Or as organised, yeah. Probably not as organised. And then, as we grew up, it sort of just evolved into the Bra boys. And we all got the tattoos and got in a bit of trouble here and there. But what the saying was, my brother's keeper or something like that, as I recall. I mean, there's been a lot of documentaries on this and, of course, lots of discussions about a couple of the dudes in the group. I won't say gang, but the group. And some got themselves into trouble, and there was a few. Let's call it. There's at least one fatality I know of. Yep.
And lots of speculation around it. Was it more as like it sounds a bit soft, but a social club, or was it actually, or was there for a purpose? It
was a bit of everything. It was a gang at some stage. Like we were a gang. We did stupid shit together. It was riots, stabbings, murders. It was rough at one stage. But then, you could, like, we've always denied it, but yeah, it would have been a gang when you look back on it. Then there was that brotherhood where we looked out for each other, because there was a lot of kids that come from broken families. I didn't. I had a pretty good family upbringing, but a lot of the boys come from broken families around the back of Maroubra, around Lexington Place, which was rough, mate. Back in the day, it was.
Is that a household area?
It was full household. Yeah, full household. Still is.
Yeah, still is.
And so we just would congregate down the beach together, surf together, train together. And that's what sort of brought us together, the surf and the training, and some broken families. And just have each other's backs and for as long as we possibly could. And then, we sort of all fell apart at some stage, and now we're back together again. So
what period are we talking about now? Are we talking about the 80s?
Yeah, through 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, through that period.
Because they had a lot of people in these suburbs sort of semi-terrified, like the Bra boys would turn up to a venue, or something happened, and the Bra boys would turn up to the venue because in response to that, and being a Noosa suburbs gang, it's not that scary because you expect them to sort of come out from out west somewhere.
Yeah,
but you guys, I used to hear stories about some of you guys training in things like jiu-jitsu, when jiu-jitsu wasn't even heard of. I mean, it was, but it wasn't a thing. Training actually how to fight, how to scrap.
Yeah.
And I used to hear some stories where you'd turn up at events or a bar or a nightclub or something like that and just take control. And the coppers even have told me stories about once there was a massive conflict between the Bra boys and the cops in a bar. Did you see much of that stuff?
Yeah, saw it all. So funnily enough, two Brazilians moved to Maroubra probably 25 years ago, and they were both jiu-jitsu. One was a jiu-jitsu black belt, Bruno Pano, and Alex Prats, who's now one of Rob Whittaker's main jiu-jitsu coaches. They moved to Maroubra just by coincidence, and they both knew jiu-jitsu really well. So they brought jiu-jitsu to Maroubra 25 years ago, and we all started then. But jiu-jitsu wasn't even really talked about back then. We saw it on sort of the early days of UFC, before even UFC started.
Like the early MMA days.
Like way back when it was cage and no rules, and the Gracies would come in their gis and dominate, and that's all we knew about it. So we're so interested in it, and like learning a different martial art, because we all did a lot of boxing as well.
Yeah.
And that's where it all eventuated from, and then it just grew from there. And we used to like talking about the police fight. That was one of my mate's 21st. That was that was a shocker, like for both.
Yeah.
Like looking back on it now, like it was just an all-in brawl, and it was a lot of frustration and anger that come out because the cops were on one level and then the boys were at another level. That was a Christmas party, police Christmas party. Boys were on another level, and it just turned into this massive all-in brawl.
It was always going to happen.
Yeah, it was always going to happen.
If they were there holding their function, you were there holding your function, it was always going to happen.
It's always going to happen. It was just a bit of a shocker, whoever booked both parties on the same night.
Well, why did you, I mean, you didn't come from a bad, upbringing. Yep. I mean, you lived in Maroubra, but why did you join up?
It was just because I surfed there and was a local down the beach, and there was this side of it where we wanted to make the beach safe because the beach was a dangerous place. And there was a side of it where we wanted to make the beach safe for our mums and grandmothers and everywhere, sisters and
why was it dangerous? Like people getting stuff getting stolen?
There was everything. There was rapes. There was
wow.
There was like women. It wasn't a safe place for women and kids to walk around at some stages. There was a lot of drugs. There was a lot of alcoholism. So the idea of that was to make the place safe. And then it did start to, it went one way so far that it turned into something that was way more than just making the place safe. It turned into more of a gang, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's how it that's where it come from.
And what killed it off sort of thing?
Mate, the main thing was prescription drugs, I'd say. Again, to be honest.
Like Valium and stuff like that.
Valium, Xanax.
Yeah.
Oxycontin, those two.
The big painkiller.
The big ones. They were because back in the day, people didn't realise how dangerous they were because they would come from over the counter.
Yeah.
So you think, oh yeah, it's from the chemist. It can't be that bad. And then it just hit like it was rampant, and you didn't even need a prescription. You could go get it off the street for hardly anything. It was cheaper than all the other drugs. And
definitely cheaper than alcohol.
Cheaper than alcohol, cheaper than cocaine, and it tore the boys apart. Oh, like that. Again, that's to be honest. It was a downfall.
Yeah. So, and today, do you still have any contact with the guys? Or some of them?
Definitely. I'm going to go down the Bay Pub after this and have a couple of beers with the boys, and
and they're all dads now.
They're all mate. That scene's finished.
Yeah.
Like it's so good to see. Like everyone's got young kids. Maroubra's a beautiful place to bring your family up now.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
it's safe and it's fucking expensive.
Yeah, totally.
But so mate, it's honestly like it's probably that's one of the best things to come out of it. It went full circle. Everyone learnt their lesson, and the dads or got families, family men.
Yeah, and growing up a bit.
Growing up, you grow out of that shit.
Yeah,
you don't need it. You don't need that.
And the shit off your liver, like the world's not to blame.
Yep.
It's we got to take some responsibility, I guess. And I'm not here preaching to people like fucking hell. I'm the last person to do that. But but I guess when you're young, it's easy to sort of blame everybody else and then take things in your own hands.
Yeah, like no one put those pills down anyone's throat, but the boys did it themselves. So you can't make excuses. But it was a life lesson, and just let that know for the younger generations that those drugs aren't safe.